Threads of Eternity. Episode 7. The Long Hunt. The fold corridor narrows as Greg walks. Not mechanically, intentionally. Panels slide closer together, light dimming in response. Not because of failure, but conservation. The system is reading him, reading the situation. Even artificial space knows when silence is safer than illumination. Greg's boots echo once, then not at all. Mara follows a step behind, fingers gliding through invisible controls, pulling data from the air itself. Holotext scrolls faintly along the corridor walls. Thread harmonics, fold stability metrics, shadow proximity bands. All of it unnervingly calm.
You're sure she didn't rupture anything?
Greg slows. Not abruptly. Deliberately. The corridor responds, halting its contraction. Waiting.
If she had, the fold would be screaming. Microfractures cascade. Time stutters. Space forgets how to align. It isn't. Ion leans against the corridor wall, arms crossed. Posture is casual. His eyes are not.
Then maybe she's not the problem.
The lights dim another fraction. Greg studies Ion for a long moment. Not as a superior, as a man deciding how much honesty the room can survive.
Every mark starts that way.
He steps closer. Not threatening. Instructive.
Calm. Cooperative. Convincing themselves they're different.
Ion opens his mouth. Stops himself. Calyx shifts uncomfortably, voice low, careful to stay inside acceptable boundaries.
You haven't ever seen one let go without collapse.
No,
Not ever before.
not without the fold paying for it.
The words land heavier than statistics ever could.
Then this is new territory.
Greg inclines his head a single degree. Agreement.
Which means we don't improvise. It's subtle. But in this room, hesitation is an act of defiance.
What'd we learn?
The word doesn't echo. It settles. The corridor lights flicker, not in alarm, but in calibration, as if the system itself is considering the possibility. Greg turns back to the lattice map hovering at the corridor's end. Lyrics node pulses steadily. Contained. Disciplined. Unapologetically quiet. Greg's jaw tightens.
Learning gets people killed.
So does refusing to adapt.
No. Refusal kills fast. Learning kills slowly. It convinces you there's time.
Ion exhales sharply.
You're talking like someone who's waited too long before.
Greg finally meets his eyes. There's no anger there. Only wait.
I'm talking like someone who stayed.
The corridor tightens again, just slightly. Not hostile. Protective. Greg steps forward. The system parts for him. Mara watches the steady node one last time.
What if she survives because she's learning faster than we are?
Greg doesn't answer immediately. When he does, his voice is quieter than before.
Then the cost won't be hers alone.
He walks on. The corridor seals behind them, not locking them in, but holding the silence like a warning. Greg stands alone. This pocket isn't tactical. It isn't useful. It's a flaw in the fold, one he never sealed properly because sealing it would mean admitting it mattered. The space around him stutters, repeating fragments of itself. Walls that don't meet. Light that never decides on a direction. The air hums with residual thread energy, old, scarred, and properly mourned. Greg doesn't move. He lets it happen. A younger voice echoes, not recorded, not summoned. Remembered.
Sir, she's stable. She's holding it.
The sound bends, warping slightly, like the fold is embarrassed to replay it cleanly. The image flickers into focus. A woman stands in the center of a fractured chamber. Her hands tremble violently at her sides. Thread lines burn beneath her skin, veins of impossible light branching across her arms, her neck, her face. but she's smiling. Trying to.
See? I'm fine. It listens to me.
She lifts one shaking hand, palm out. The thread obeys, quieting, dimming, curling inward like a child called by name. Greg's jaw tightens. Not in anger. In recognition.
They always say that part first.
The memory sharpens cruelly now. Details Greg never allows himself to remember all at once. The way her voice wavers just enough to betray fear. The way her smile never reaches her eyes. The way the fold around her strains, groaning under the pressure of being asked instead of commanded. Greg steps closer. In the memory, his younger self doesn't.
Hold steady. Don't push it.
I know. I won't.
She takes a breath. The thread pulses once. Not violently. Curiously. The room shudders. Greg flinches now, even though he didn't then. The image fractures at the edges. Sound distorts. The fold starts to argue with itself.
It's asking something.
Greg's hands curl slowly into fists.
That's when listening changes.
The memory refuses to show the moment it all goes wrong. It never shows the rupture. Never shows the scream. Never shows the fold tearing itself open, trying to accommodate something it was never meant to hold. Instead, the image freezes on her face. Eyes wide. Not in pain. In understanding. Greg swallows hard. Mara layers footage across the hollow screens. Shadows hunting marked individuals through fractured cities, abandoned industrial zones, empty forests. Time stretches in loops, some years old, some recent. They all behave the same way. Waiting. Circling. Feeding on excess.
They're not hunters.
Greg steps closer, coat brushing the console edge. His gaze is sharp, almost clinical, but with an edge Mara doesn't usually see.
No, they're scavengers.
He freezes a frame, a shadow looming over a mark. The mark suppresses their thread. Just a flicker, just enough to flatten the surge. The shadow pauses. Tilted head. Hesitant. Vulnerable.
Then why escalate now?
Greg doesn't answer immediately. His eyes flit to Lyric's note. Steady. Control. Like nothing else in the fold has been.
Because restraint is new.
They don't understand it.
The team watches as another shadow approaches a suppressed mark. Its movements stutter. Almost calculated, almost fearful. Greg's jaw tightens. His voice is low, measured, but carries weight. He freezes another frame. The shadow reacts instantly to the pulse of Lyric's thread. Not a surge, but a contained hum. The difference is subtle, and yet the shadow hesitates where it wouldn't have before. Greg's mind ticks faster than his mouth. Mara glances at him.
Exactly. Predators panic when the food changes. This isn't failure. This is learning.
You're not saying.
Greg doesn't turn. His hand hovers over the console. He traces the path of the shadow as it flinches.
Lyric holds it differently. Unlike any mark I've ever seen. She doesn't panic. She doesn't break.
Then will Lyric survive?
Greg tilts his head, jaw tight. That memory from the breach, women breaking, folds collapsing, presses at his gut. He almost swallows it, almost denies it. Almost.
She shouldn't. Not yet. Not like this. And yet, she does.
Sir, look, the key. It's reacting.
Greg leans closer. The device in Alara's pocket pulses in sync with the thread. Something subtle yet undeniable.
That's new. It tells her where they are, where the danger is.
He hasn't seen this before. Not in simulations. Not in any mark. Not in any shadow.
So it's giving her an edge?
More than that. It's a variable I didn't account for.
The shadows move again in the footage. One pauses mid-pounce. Another circles, confused by the lack of reaction from the mark. Greg grips the console.
They exploit fear, instinct, weakness. She's showing them neither.
And that makes them unpredictable.
Greg's eyes narrow. His mind spins, calculating, anticipating, rewriting the rules he's followed for decades.
Yes. Which means I have to reconsider everything.
A shadow flickers at the edge of the node. Its movements are wrong, hesitant. The key pulses again, syncing with the thread. Greg leans back slightly, jaw tight.
They will test her.
And if she passes?
Greg's voice is deliberate, measured, final.
Then we find out if the world can survive what she's about to teach it. The node flickers once more. Lyric's thread hums faintly across the distance. Greg leans closer, eyes hard. I've trained for the mark that breaks, not the one that bends.
The shadows pause, circling. Greg allows himself a slow breath.
Run, panic, or fight. They will all regret one of these choices.
The hollow fades to black. The ridge dissolves into uneven plains. Wind whips across grasses, carrying a faint metallic hum, thread resonance synced with the key pulsing in Lara's pocket. Night is dark, almost liquid, swallowing edges and depth. Every sound is amplified, the distant snap of a branch, the low hiss of shifting earth. Lyric moves like a shadow herself, deliberate, measured. Her eyes sweep constantly, noting terrain, air, and the subtle vibration beneath her skin. The thread hums faintly, an almost imperceptible guidance, not a command.
Not a warning. Presence. Always presence.
From the darkness, a shadow detaches. It moves unnaturally, limbs stretching in impossible angles. No sound until the very last instant, then a sudden rush of motion. Lyric doesn't flinch. Her feet barely touch the ground as she pivots, sidesteps, lands with fluid precision. The key flashes in Alara's pocket, pulsing in perfect sync with the thread.
They're close, too close.
Two more shadows emerge from the perimeter, forming a loose encirclement. Their motions are chaotic, jagged, testing her reaction. Observe. Don't react.
One lunges fast, faster than the eye can follow. Lyric leans back, thread vibrating under her skin, predicting the trajectory before it arrives. She pivots, boots sliding on uneven earth, and counters with a subtle shift in posture. The shadow crashes past her, momentum unspent, recoiling slightly. Another shadow sweeps from above. She ducks, rolls, hair catching a faint breeze, key pulsing, thread humming in perfect harmony.
Not fear. Precision. Control.
The shadows hesitate. They strike again, coordinating in sudden bursts, but her restraint is uncanny. She doesn't panic. She doesn't rush. Each motion is a careful calculation, exploiting their dependence on aggression. Greg leans over his console, overlays of shadows moving against Lyric's thread node flashing across multiple screens. Every strike, every hesitation recorded.
She predicts, she doesn't panic. She manipulates them with restraint.
Tenschikan, weaponize the key.
Greg doesn't answer immediately. He studies the node as a shadow strikes and misses, recoiling, confused by her calm.
Not weaponizing. Interpreting. Something I've never seen.
He taps a command, isolating one shadow. Its pause after her subtle movement is unprecedented.
Shadows rely on instinct reaction. She's removed instinct from the equation.
And that's enough.
Enough to make them hesitate. And hesitation is deadly for them. They always fail when the food panics. She refuses to feed that instinct.
He glances at Lyric's name on his display. Detective. Human intelligence layered over marked power. His brow tightens. Shadows circle, a calculated predator pack. One lunges directly at Lyric. She moves fluidly, the thread and key in tandem giving her subtle hints of momentum, distance, balance. She rolls, barely a hair's breadth from its grasp. The shadow crashes into the dirt, recoiling.
You want me to react? I won't.
The key flashes, quick, sharp, synced with the thread. She uses that pulse, that rhythm, to anticipate the shadow's next lunge. Another attack, another dodge, fluid, precise, almost dance-like. The shadows exchange glances, or what passes for them, calculating, adapting, frustrated. Lyric's movements are deliberate, but she begins to subtly push forward, threading between them, always measured.
It's like she's reading their intent before they even make it.
Observe, control, predict, survive.
A long shadow, the largest, slams into the ground, tentacle-like limbs snapping. Lyric uses the thread vibration to pivot perfectly, sliding past, and plants a hand on the key's pocket, its pulse doubling. She doesn't strike. She doesn't lunge. She positions herself where the shadow's momentum leaves it exposed. Greg leans forward over his console, eyes narrowed, voice cold but impressed.
She's not just a mark. She's something else. Something I haven't accounted for. The key, thread synergy. She controls their instincts, not her own.
Chico va con purpose. Anda cambia propio.
This changes everything. Every tactic, every assumption. Useless against this.
Then what now?
Greg taps a command, isolating Lyric's movement in the overlay.
Now, watch. Calculate. Adapt. And maybe wait for her to make the next move.
The shadows retreat slightly, regrouping but cautious. Lyric breathes evenly, the thread humming, key pulsing. She steps forward, deliberate.
I move when I decide.
A single shadow hesitates too long. Her foot plants, her body aligned with thread vibration. The shadow falters, unsure.
Not because I'm strong, because I am still.
The night stretches around her, alive with tension. Thread hums. Key pulses. Shadows circle. Silence. Anticipation. Danger. Everything compressed into one heartbeat. The room hums with quiet energy. The fold's artificial lights dim, flickering faintly as if breathing. Holographic overlays ripple across the consoles, showing Lyric's position, thread nodes, and the advancing shadows. Every movement is tracked, every pulse recorded. Greg stands at the threshold, coat brushing the floor, posture rigid but not tense, calculation incarnate. His eyes flick over the data feeds, lingering on Lyric's node. The steady pulse is almost defiant.
Orders?
Greg doesn't answer immediately. He tilts his head, eyes narrowing, scanning the projected paths of shadows converging on Lyric. A faint flicker of light from the key syncs with the thread. Something only he notices.
We let them test her.
That's risky.
So is intervention.
Andi vschidalis.
Then the world behaves in the way I understand again.
Silence stretches, heavier than the dim light, broken only by the faint hum of thread and key resonance. Greg steps forward, coat brushing against the console, eyes scanning every approach vector, every shadow maneuver. He allows a single finger to trace Lyric's path on the overlay, almost reverently. Then he turns. The sound of movement echoes subtly across the empty node.
But if she survives, we change everything.
Ion shifts uneasily, sensing the weight of the decision, the risk, the unknown. Greg doesn't look at him. His voice is quiet but certain, authoritative.
I'm betting against the thread. Instincts fail against control. Pattern fails against observation. The game has changed.
A faint flicker on the shadow proximity overlay. One shadow hesitates, recalculating its path. Greg notices. His eyes narrow. Mara exhales, fingers brushing the console.
Then what happens if she adapts faster than they do?
Greg tilts his head slightly, almost a nod, lips pressing into a thin line. His voice is low, almost a growl.
Then I'll be the one adapting, not them.
A shadow flickers on the screens. A test shadow from the front line hesitates, unsure. Greg allows himself a single breath, slow, deliberate, watching the feedback loop between Lyric's thread, the key, and the shadows.
unleash she wins.
Then everything I thought I knew ends.
A long silence. The low hum of machinery and thread resonance fills the space. Shadows converge on Lyric's position. Greg's coat shifts as he steps back into the darkened corridor, shoulders squared.
This is why I hunt the ones who change the rules.
The node pulses faintly with Lyric's steady rhythm. Greg's gaze lingers a moment longer, calculating, weighing, predicting.
Run, and I'll catch you. Fight, and I'll end you. Keep walking, and I'll decide whether the world can afford you.
He steps back fully into the shadows of the fold. The light dims further. The console hums, the shadow nodes flicker, and the choice is set. Lyric's boots sink into uneven earth. Gravel slides beneath her weight. Small betrayals she catalogs instantly. The ridge behind her dissolves into silhouette. The last breath of sunlight dies, leaving fractured violet and deep cobalt skies fractured like bruised glass. The air is still. Not calm. Held. The key in Alara's pocket pulses faintly, once. Then again. Not an alarm. A question. Beneath Lyric's skin, the thread answers. Low, resonant, alive. Not loud. Not urgent. Aware. Lyric slows her breathing, matching its cadence. She doesn't look for enemies. She looks for disruptions. A flicker at the edge of vision. Then another. Shadows slip between broken stone and shallow ravines, fluid, jagged, refusing fixed shape. They don't rush. They learn.
Patterns. Always patterns. Even predators repeat themselves.
Her hand brushes her wrist. The thread tightens, not constricting, not pulling, aligning. The key responds with a faint glow, resonance threading the distance between them. The shadows adjust, not retreating, repositioning. A whisper of movement, air scraping wrong, like space tearing itself quietly. Lyric shifts her stance. Weight on the balls of her feet. Spine loose. Eyes unfocused enough to catch motion instead of form.
They expect panic. They expect force.
A shadow lunges. The thread spikes. Warning, not command. Lyric pivots just enough. A clawed strike tears through earth where her ribs were erect. Soil erupts in sparks and dust. She doesn't counter immediately. She watches the follow-through.
You're early.
The shadow overextends. Lyric moves. She twists midair, anchoring through the thread. Not yanking, not forcing. Borrowing momentum. She redirects the creature into a standing stone. Impact ripples. The shadow collapses, unraveling into mist that bleeds back into the ground. The key pulses brighter. Behind her. She drops low as another shadow strikes. The key flashes, sharp, insistent. Lyric drives her palm into the earth. Not a blast. A contained release. A thread shockwave, restrained, precise. The ground shudders. One shadow stumbles, its form stuttering like corrupted data. A third shadow pauses. Hesitation. Lyric clocks it instantly.
There you are.
She mirrors its movement. Half step wrong on purpose. A feint that invites correction. The shadow bites. Lyric pivots inside its arc and lets it miss. It collides with its own ally. Both dissolve into vapor, absorbed by the land. She lands lightly, breath steady, pulse elevated, but controlled. Holographic overlays bloom across the darkened command space. Every shadow mapped, every micro-adjustment in Lyric's posture tracked, predicted, recalculated. Greg Gray traces her path with one finger. Not admiration. Assessment.
She doesn't react. She reads.
A shadow rebounds toward her, trajectory altered, velocity spiking. Lyric sidesteps before the system flags it. Greg tilts his head.
That's new.
He taps a command. Red indicators flare, override options, suppression protocols, kill thresholds. He doesn't engage them. He watches.
The restraint. She uses it against him.
A larger shadow lands ahead of Lyric, denser, heavier, its edges serrated with intent. The air distorts around it. The key flares violently in Alara's pocket. High threat convergence, multiple vectors collapsing. Lyric doesn't move. She studies it.
Fear is loud. Prediction is quiet.
The shadow feints left. She doesn't bite. It shifts right faster. The thread hums, warning sharp as a held breath. Lyric steps into the attack. She anchors through the thread, redirects the force, and uses the shadow's own mass to slam it into the fractured ground. The impact ripples outward. Other shadows falter, confused, recalibrating. Lyric rises from the motion in one smooth breath.
It's not defense. It's control.
The remaining shadows hesitate. For the first time, they retreat a half step. Greg leans forward, elbows resting on the edge of the console now. The room's ambient hum drops a fraction, as if the fold itself is listening with him. The feed's slow, not because the system lags, because he tells it to. Lyric's movements replay in layered trajectories, ghost images of her past positions overlapping like chalk outlines of decisions made and avoided.
I've never seen restraint act like a weapon.
He isolates a moment, a pause before the strike. The half-beat where any trained operative would have attacked. She didn't. The system flags it as inefficiency. Greg overrides the flag.
They're built to respond to force, to escalation.
He watches the shadows hesitate, milliseconds stretching into opportunity.
She starves them of it.
His jaw tightens, not fear. Something closer to irritation wrapped in awe. The feeds branch outward, predictive models attempting to compensate. Red lines curl back on themselves. Probability cones fracture. None of them resolve cleanly. Greg exhales, sharp, unsettled.
She's teaching them.
His fingers hover above the console. Kill switches. Recall protocols. Safeguards written by people who never imagined this outcome. He doesn't touch them.
And I didn't put her there.
For the first time, the fold does not feel like an extension of his will. It feels observant. The shadows withdraw into fractured terrain, their forms thinning, unraveling, darkness pretending to be absence. The land exhales. Lyric does not move. She stands exactly where the last attack ended. Weight evenly distributed, spine loose, eyes tracking not where the shadows were, but where they chose to stop being. Not victorious, not relieved. Listening. The thread beneath her skin settles into a low, constant hum, aligned, alert, neither urging nor retreating. It is waiting with her. The key answers with a final pulse. Not approval. Acknowledgement. Lyric's chest rises, then falls. The adrenaline fades just enough to reveal the quiet underneath. The realization that the silence is not empty.
They'll come back different.
Her fingers flex once at her side. A grounding habit. A reminder she is still physical. Still here.
This is just the beginning.
The wind shifts. Somewhere far off, stone clicks against stone, too measured to be coincidence. Lyric doesn't chase it. She marks it.
The silence you're hearing now isn't peace. It's recalculation. Every hunter learns eventually, and every lesson leaves a mark. Episode 8 is already closing the distance. Stay with us. Hit subscribe.